do. Now let me transition to the NBA draft that's coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say about this draft. We are entering the draft, and listen, I'm going to cover it, and I'm not in any way trying to imply that there's not some real talent that's going to be out there for the NBA draft coming up. I'm not trying to imply that at all. I'm just looking at the first round, and just for those of you who don't know, the Atlanta Hawks have the number 1 overall pick. Who knows what they're going to do with Trae Young. The Washington Wizards got the 2nd pick. Houston, via the Brooklyn Nets, they got the 3rd overall pick. San Antonio's got the 4th overall pick to put somebody in that can roll with Wembanyama. The Detroit Pistons are at the 5th pick, okay? They just let go of Coach Monty Williams. Charlotte Hornets are at the 6th pick. Derek Lee, he's a new head coach for the Charlotte Hornets, coming over from Boston as an assistant. Portland Trailblazers, 7th pick. Spurs have the 4th and the 8th pick in the draft because they're getting the 8th pick from Toronto, who just signed Scotty Barnes about a potential $270 million deal. Lord have mercy, today's NBA economy. What are you talking about here? Memphis Grizzlies at the 9th pick, Utah at the 10th pick, Bulls at the 11th pick, Oklahoma City Thunder at the 12th pick, Kings at the 13th pick, Portland Trailblazers again at the 14th pick. So they got the 7th and the 14th pick. The Spurs have the 4th and the 8th pick in the first round. Those are lottery picks. Of course, Miami and Philadelphia and the Lakers is 15, 16, 17. You know, I'm just looking at some of these things. The New York Knicks have the 24th and 25th pick in the first round. So I'm quite sure there are some interesting players. And in no way am I trying to poo-poo this NBA draft. There's always good guys. But the reality of the situation is when you're looking at what you're talking about, the Hawks are projected to take this guy, Zachary Lassacher, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, small forward out of France, age 19 years of age, got some skills, but their big question is whether or not Trae Young is going to stay or they're going to move on from him. You got this kid, Alex Sarr, he's a power forward / center from Australia. He's 19 years of age, okay? You got Reed Shepherd, point guard, shooting guard out of Kentucky. He's also 19 years of age. Rockets are talking about taking him. Stephon Castle, he's another point guard out of UConn, just won a national championship. We know what he brings to the table. I mean, you've got some talent here. And I'm looking, and this kid, Dalton Knecht, this small forward out of Tennessee, I watched him during the NCAA tournament. I like that kid. Okay? And but Donovan Clingan out of UConn, he's projected to go number 7 with Portland. I'm just looking at some of these guys. Another Kentucky dude, Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky, Cody Williams out of Colorado, he can ball. Nicole Topic out of some Adriatic League, wherever the hell that is. You got Devin Carter, he's a point guard, shooting guard out of Providence. There's some talent. Here's my issue. Very few people give a shit compared to LeBron James' son, Bronny James. And he's not even projected to be a first rounder. We're projecting whether or not he may go 54th or 55th in the NBA draft, okay? And I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. The Boston Celtics have the 54th pick. The Los Angeles Lakers have the 55th pick. Now, let me say this to Bronny James, wishing him nothing but the best. Good kid. Parents are wonderful. I critique LeBron James basketball, you know, some of the basketball stuff. Like having a podcast with J.J. Redick in the middle of the damn season when you know Darvin Ham's on a hot seat. I don't blame J.J. Redick for that. I blame LeBron James for that, even though I think it was a fabulous podcast and all of this other stuff, which, by the way, J.J. Redick, the new head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, announced will not be taking place anymore. He will not be podcasting. He will be coaching. So the podcast is over, okay? So be it. At the end of the day, LeBron is not to be questioned as a dad, as a parent, as a father, not at all. And so as we sit here talking about Bronny James, they say he's athletic. They say he can defend. They say he has tremendous upside, but they question whether or not he's ready. We'll find that out. What is undoubtedly so is that all the attention is coming in his direction. He's getting more attention than any pick you can come up with. And we ain't seen that in history. And so that just speaks to the power of LeBron James. Because if LeBron James wasn't that relevant, neither would his son be, at least for the moment. And so that's what we got to think about. We got to take that into consideration, and we got to go from there. All right? I'm looking at, and I think the legitimate question to be asked is, where would be the ideal landing spot for Bronny James? Is it with his dad? Assuming his dad, who's going to exercise his rights to be a free agent, stays in L.A., which he undoubtedly will, probably with a 3-year max deal. Is J.J. Redick, the new coach, the right guy to help out and teach Bronny James what he needs to be taught? Would Bronny James be better off in Boston with the 54th pick? These are legitimate questions. These are legitimate questions. Are you ready for this? If he's worthy of being the 41st pick in the NBA draft, I think the Philadelphia 76ers should look to grab Bronny James. If the Lakers, and I sincerely doubt if Bronny James is available at number 55, that the Lakers are not going to take him. But if somehow, some way that miracle happened, I like Bronny James at number 56 for the Denver Nuggets. Philly and Denver. Why do I say that? Because when you have big men who are the primary offensive option, that takes pressure off the guards to be formidable offensively, and more is required of them defensively and along with their athleticism and their effort. And with Denver having let go of Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, which I believe cost them in these past playoffs, in their 7-game series loss in the semifinals to the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm of the mindset that Bronny James going someplace where the focal point of the offense is your big, and less of the onus is placed on the shoulders of a guard. Now he gets to go in there, develop his offensive game, but still gives you effort defensively, which is his forte according to the scouts and evaluators. And I think he could benefit extremely well in that regard. That's where I'm coming from. That's all I have to say about that in regards to Bronny James. Wishing him nothing but the